Welcome back, everybody. This is episode three, or part three of WandaVision review, episode four. Just a quick wrap up. We've had Carlos, Carlo, and Nick talk about their possible theories. Carlos is thinking about Evan Peters, how he's gonna come into this. Carlos said something about Captain Marvel. She's definitely gonna make an appearance, and how Shield and Sword are gonna create weapons out of this. I think that's the gist of what you were saying, right, Carlo? All
Yeah.
right, cool. And then we have Nick, who's talking about how they can use Vision to bring in Wonder Man. How uh, Wanda is going to be seen not as a villain, or maybe as a villain, who knows what. Um, Basically, what we have here is a bunch of questions that I want to ask after everyone's done. But we're on to Nuno and his possible theories, and then we'll go to Matt.
Yeah, I'll keep it quick because I know we've been eating up time, but I feel like everything that we learned in this episode is beautiful and amazing, but it doesn't debunk all of our theories that we've been talking about. I feel like we just need to circle back onto them because I think they're all right. Sword is being run by either Hydra or AIM. Her security clearance ain't
Oh
working.
boy, same.
Clearances don't change. We know with Nick Fury, his clearance is like the same wherever he goes. He's on the run and his clearance still works with like some code. We know that no secret initiative has been dropped. Like, oh, if an agent goes missing, he can't go on to extraterrestrial missions because you were raised there. You know the codes your mom put in place. This imaginary code that popped up 5 years when you've been missing or she's been dead is this random guy telling you this. But so yeah, the whole organization is being run by AIM or Hydra. I love how their suits, when they're going underneath, Agent Nick or whatever his name is, it's yellow. I mean, I'm just saying, it could have been white, it could have been any other color. They're yellow. He's wearing a yellow suit. So that's one theory. And then I still want to stick to the swarms theory because from all the suits he could have made, why didn't he come in a big scuba outfit or something like a 50s, like, you know what I mean? He came in a B outfit. I mean, in a sense, maybe she just made a villain, like she just made Swarm, you know what I mean? So I'm not debunking that. So the whole operation's being run by either Hydra or because look at everyone. The one that came to the doctor, the girl, the scientist, and he was like a thug. Like he reminds me of all the Hydra goons, you know.
Yeah.
So the organization's being run by some cricket-like guys. That's for sure. I think
I
that
love
Monica
how confident
will
you
end
say
up.
that.
What happened?
I said I love how confident you are when you say that. You're just like, they
Yeah,
are
because I
being
think I
run.
think it was like I think we all said that, but I think Carl or someone said it like is definitely being run by someone else, or they're like because they said someone is monitoring the broadcast, like as in like someone is watching the entire thing and letting you see what you want to see. Why would Wanda let you see what you want to
Mm-hmm.
see? That's someone else monitoring the broadcast and letting them see what he wants them to see. So it's like Ultron, like he's in the computers or something, like chopping up the videos because it's clearly playing because we go into the TV and the footage is there. Like everything is being played out except someone cut it out and it's not Wanda. So I feel like that's another play factor of who the villain is. He's manipulating the equipment there and letting him see what you want to see. Um, as far as Monica goes, I think that she ends up in some way or sorts absorbing some kind of energy and turning into photon because we know there's like these energy discharge, or she ends up like sacrificing herself to like eat this power up or something, and it ends up turning her into this superhero because we know that she can absorb photon, can absorb power, energy blast, and she can fly through space and time and stuff. If I'm not mistaken, like she got some dope powers. So that's that right there. As far as anything else goes, I just think all of our theories from last week this episode kind of almost debunked them, but I think we're still like solid because we still just need to remember, like, Hydra commercials. Like, come on, like, just because they showed a shield sword doesn't mean now, oh, everybody's a good guy. Something is not right there. You know what I mean? Like, that's just me. I'm gonna pass it on to Matt so he can wrap up this theory section of the.
Hey, I'm still, and I volunteered to go last because you just took my thunder, man. I'm going to add on to something. I agree because I just took some notes here. I agree that Evan Peters, I reckon he's going to be speed, not going to be the Quicksilver. I agree on that.
Can I ask? Can I ask? I'm sorry, Matt. No one answered this. Who's the other actor going to be for the other brother?
I don't know.
I haven't said anything yet.
Yeah. What does he look like, Matt? Do you know what the character now?
No idea.
He's like a brunette, like average looking guy.
Damn.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? They did say that Chris Evans is coming back for another role, so maybe he's gonna do this. How does a kid?
I'm sorry, Matt. I just wanted to ask.
I don't think he can pull off a teenager. To be honest with you,
He's not another teenage movie, right? He did that. He can do it. It's fine.
And the other thing is, the things with TV shows, movies that people don't pay attention to is you're introduced to the villains in the first 1, 2, 3 episodes at most. And I reckon we have got, I'm going to call it, this Sword, the new leader guy, the new runner of it, he works for Hydra. He works for Hydra because we don't hear anything about Hydra and all that. And obviously we get the Hydra commercial ads, right? And the skipping of the video and all of that happens after they set up camp, right? So I really think Sword, this leader of Sword, is working with Hydra, and they're trying to get control of Wanda, or what they're doing is they're building Ultron, like you guys were saying, because he says that they're not worrying about the science, the space stuff at the moment, but they're more on armor and guns, and I'm pretty sure that's what he says when they're walking into the bunker.
Mm-hmm.
That they're focusing more on like nanomites and all that
technology.
Yeah, building technology. So therefore, I reckon this guy from Sword is actually working for Hydra, and they're building. What Nick said is they're building Ultron. So Hydra's
Ultron Mark. Did they give him a mark when they
Ultron Prime?
I don't know about Marvel. I don't know about much about Marvel comics because I'm more reading DC. Right. But
in the movie, was he just Ultron or was he Ultron Mark something?
No, he's Ultron.
He's just Ultron, so he can even come
back.
We're
gonna get a Mark II. We're gonna get a Mark II. Ultron Mark II.
Or like an Ultron.
I reckon this guy from Sword is building. He's working for Hydra, and they're building another Ultron because Hydra want to get him to help them take over the world. That is, but I reckon this leader 110%. If I'm wrong, I'll do whatever dare you guys dare me. I reckon he's a bad guy. I reckon he's a bad guy.
I have a feeling about that too.
Yeah, or Matt, you know what? Building real quick on what you said, a possible theory, because we had talked about I can't remember who mentioned it first, but that Hydra and AIM are going to be working together.
Oh, I think I said that.
Yeah, Nick.
Unless he works for AIM and he's on there, but he's the bad guy, and then I reckon it's set up. Now that I didn't think of Ultron until Nick, you brought it up, but I reckon that's what they're doing.
You know what? A theory of how AIM and Hydra are going to be working together, or they're at least, they each organization has their own goals, but they're going to end up working together, is that Hydra is in it, like I mentioned before, to try and get control of Wanda, because originally she was their project, so they want to get her, and Sword, the new director, Tyler Hayward, I got a bad feeling from him the moment that he was. The moment that
it makes sense because Shield was being controlled by Hydra, so why wouldn't any other organization like that have like an in?
Exactly, and he is not going to be Hydra. He's actually going to be AIM because of the
technology base,
because of the whole technology portion, and they're trying to build Ultron, and this is how they're going to bridge, Hydra, which is Wanda. Ultron, which he, tried to recruit, he did recruit Wanda and Pietro during Age of Ultron. And like how you mentioned, Nick, Ultron has always played some kind of role with Vision and Wanda every single time. And the last part of my theory is that Ultron originally created Vision.
Yes.
So a way that we can potentially get Vision back is that if Ultron is introduced, he's the one that's gonna rebuild Vision.
A new body. I think we're gonna get White Vision. I think we're gonna get White Vision from the 90s.
Exactly, and he's gonna build him in a new body, and that's how we're gonna get the reintroduction of Vision, building on what you said, Matt, and what you said, Nick.
Then we're going to get purple people marching through the street, the little Oompa Loompas marching through the streets saying, hey, mate, quality.
No, that is
Also,
that is
because you
nice.
guys brought up AIM, I think they're going to use that to introduce a bunch of, like, Hulk villains for the She-Hulk show.
Well, so now that you mentioned that, if you look at Director Hayward's head, he kind of either looks like MODOK or he looks like the leader. I don't know, man. His
Oh
head's
my
kind
god,
of
if he's the leader, if he's the freaking leader, then it all makes sense. Dude, you could, but if he was the leader, it'd have to be pre-powers because he would have just been able to walk in there and shut her down.
Oh yeah, no, he's gonna if he's gonna be the leader, he's gonna have to get through some kind of gamma radiation accident. Who knows
Because
what?
if he was leader, he would just go, or if he was already MODOK, he'd be able to just go in there and shut her down.
Man,
'Cause
so
those are two like telepathic guys that would be able to just.
Yeah.
one of the things that Nuno mentioned as well was the whole broadcasting. I read something about anytime that right now Wanda is controlling Vision, but I don't think she's controlling him as like a puppet or anything. She's just using her power as a reality bender from her stone
To reanimate his
to
body.
reanimate it. And as soon as she like lets down her power, he'll be dead or whatever. But right now, because he is technically still alive or whatever because of her, and he's realizing that something's going off, he's the one that's broadcasting that frequency because he does have that power. He is a technological whatever. So
But I think every time it comes back to like how she said that she was from Ultron, Geraldine and that, and she came back to the real world, she then seen Vision straight after. That's the first time she sees him after being notified about the real world. So he turned into the zombie. So then reality kind of came back to her.
Yeah, it's breaking.
That's why she saw it like that, and that's why I think she fast forward the guy when he came out of the sewer and that, because she knows then once she sees normal reality, she then sees Vision as zombie Vision.
So that's what I was saying earlier is that I think that she's so deep in denial that once anything from the outside world comes in, she remembers everything that's going on, she pushes it out and goes back into denial and doesn't know that she's creating her own reality at this moment. But right now, at the end of this movie, she did say,
Manny, is that at the end of
I was about to say at the end of this one,
isn't she standing by the water saying they're in happy places and she was happy? Like, what's made her all of a sudden?
So I was actually going to ask that, but to finish what I was saying though is that at the end of this episode, she did say like, "Hey, no, Vision, we can't go back. This is our home." So now I'm thinking she knows what she's doing 100%, and she's just going to continue being like the villain, or whatever. But that's a good question. My first question after talking with you guys is, what do you guys think happened between Endgame and the 3 weeks later when they're at that Westview? What happened to Wanda from Endgame where she was like, I'm gonna kill Thanos, and she's powerful and she's in control and she's fine? The battle finishes. So what could have caused it to go so bad that she goes to New Jersey, she gets to Westview, she has Vision's dead body most likely? What happened in between? That's a question.
Agar and Mephisto are trying to manipulate her and take over her.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can think of.
Screw Mephisto. I'm so sick of these Mephisto theories because I don't like Mephisto. I don't want him to be involved in this. He's not an Avengers villain.
He's a Marvel Universe
First off,
villain.
if it is Vision's actual body, she's been sleeping with Vision's dead metal body.
Yep, absolutely.
Which is just strange.
Absolutely. But what happened in between?
So my theory for that, what I'm going to try to say, and I think thinking of how they could write this, is that because we see her after Endgame, right? We see her, she's like trying to cope with it, but we all know as a character, Wanda isn't the most stable because of her past and the shit she goes through and her powers. She is not the most stable person. So she gets, I'm assuming she packs up to leave and takes Vision's body because she's gonna bury it.
Right. That makes sense.
But when she gets to this place where she's going to move, they like in the first episode where they pull up to the house. I think she bought a house, whatever, and she was gonna like bury the body or create a monument or whatever. But she has like this something happens on her way to the house, or something happens where she gets there and she snaps.
Right.
Maybe she on the radio they talked about Ultron, or they talked about the snap, or you know.
Maybe it's Mephisto whispering in her ear. You can bring him back.
I'm
You can bring him back.
Mephisto. I'm not doing this on this podcast, on this Twitchcast. We are doing a no more Mephisto mentioning ever. He's banned.
It's a Mephisto move.
I was more thinking that in those 3 weeks she goes sees Doctor Strange. That's when you get the Doctor Strange movie, Madness in the Multiverse. And in between that, like, she goes and sets up her own reality because of what she learned, that nothing is possible. And while she's doing that, the Multiverse Madness Doctor Strange movie's happening, because she's probably trying to figure out all the ways of because he wasn't snapped back and nothing worked. So we said that Doctor Strange is going to be tied into it. She definitely got to go to Doctor Strange then, probably in that 3-week period, and maybe that's where his movie branches out. Like, his movie starts off with her coming to see him, them doing something, and her just like disappearing, and that's the WandaVision show, and the movie we just keep watching as the Multiverse Madness.